So
Shit, hold up.
it's gonna be psychology though.
It can be psychological, it can be even any zoologicals.
Oh, isn't it? I think there's gonna be a little bit of theology.
You don't mind if I just keep my underwear like you lot say? No, you don't say underwear, you say trousers.
No, I say underwear. You say trousers, no?
No, trousers is...
Pants.
It's pants.
I think trousers.
No. Trousers in the UK, it's trousers is whatever you're calling this.
Yeah,
but pants is underwear.
For you.
Yeah.
For me,
We call it pants. What is it?
What's underwear to you?
Underwear don't exist. What's underwear? Is pants.
Pants. Oh, that's funny.
But what's trousers for you lot?
I don't think we have trousers. Maybe
No,
underwear.
but what's pants? Oh shit, pants is pants, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made, wait. Okay, I make sense. Yeah, bro, we're bugging out at the time and that. We're bugging.
Mr. Sugar, why you have so
But
much sugar in
anyways,
the system?
what you just told me is, for us not to wear out or to crash out, we need to take care of our physical health and our mental health. I disagree with that. Because in the end of the day, yes, I agree with you. We need to take care of our health. But that may affect somewhat on us crashing down because we'll feel tired and stuff. But our mental health as a man shouldn't really affect the way the way our body responds. Like crashing out. Feeling tired. You know the expression emotionally drained.
Okay, my phone's at 4%.
Do you want to charge it?
No. That's not the point. Portuguese. Yeah.
Oh, no, don't ruin the video. It's English content only, mate.
No,
Basically, what happened? Yeah, this Portuguese bro walks in and we will have to speak everything in Portuguese. Louder. That ain't happening today. Translate. Não, é bom, você não queria... Senta aqui na minha cama, bro. Senta comigo, bro.
muito perigoso.
Não, aqui é tranquilo, está bem cuidado aqui.
Muita viadagem.
Ai, não fala isso, é no meu canal de YouTube, respeita, rapaz.
Eu acho que você
Respeita,
está...
senta aqui, bro.
Oh,
Aprende seu inglês. I'm recording for a long time, wallahi.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Eu vou peidar aqui, tudo bem?
Não.
Uau, é no meu quarto, tão caça fora qualquer coisa, bro. Aqui é o sorvete aí do Chico que deu. Muito sorvete, vixi. Sorry guys.
A mente... Não é você. Então, você está valorizando a lógica acima de tudo.
Em um certo sentido, sim.
Isso é bom. Por que isso significa? Isso significa que se as suas emoções estão falando não vai pra academia, o teu raciocínio lógico é capaz de sobrepor as emoções e te mandar pra academia. Se você está na guerra...
Sorry, we can't do this in Portuguese. I'm not understanding nothing.
Ok, if...
Aprende inglês, que é muito bom pra você. É bom não, bro?
Primeiro eu tenho que aprender o inglês, né?
Então, aprende aqui, bro. Mas você vai pegar a lógica, claro?
Okay, so you're saying that it's mind, logical reasoning over emotions. And that's
Yes,
a good
yes.
attitude to have.
100%.
Why? If you're at war, your body's telling you run. Don't go there. But you need to save your family or you need to save your country, whatever it is, you need to head in
100%.
and go against every physical instinct you have.
There you go. So what brings you up in life, what
Mind.
carries you forward is the mind and not your emotions. Emotion actually holds you back.
Like,
Okay, I'm with you.
why are the emotions there?
Is a natural reactor to tell you if something's dangerous or not? Is that what you're trying to get to? I'm
Are they
bugging out.
good nature by nature, are emotions good or bad?
I'm gonna keep 100. It doesn't matter. I don't know why he's even there. It's for love. It's for love.
Your guess is just for love.
No, for
No,
real.
no,
No,
you don't
emotion's
know.
there because of love. You get me? God put us to love. You get me? That's his
He
nature.
did put us to love, but he wanted our experience on earth to be very good. And our emotions are also, they can be guidelines for how we should live.
Boa noite.
Boa noite. Falou.
Desculpa, Village.
Eu tenho outras coisas pra fazer amanhã, eu vou trabalhar.
Na próxima a gente fala em português.
Tem um orçamento pra fazer.
Tá, me dá um beijinho aqui.
Tem
beijinho.
que dinheiro.
Tem pra dinheiro. Aprendeu, vai. Agora aprende. Pode sair assim, dormir em paz. Falou. Tamo junto.
Our instincts, our emotions can be guides on how to live life.
Right.
Like when you're kind to someone, you feel oxytocin.
Alright. And what is
When
that?
you're caring, that is a positive hormone.
Right.
That is a hormone. It's associated with love. You
Right.
feel oxytocin when you pet a dog. You feel oxytocin when you think of your mom, when you listen to your mom's voice. You get a burst of oxytocin when you have sex.
Right. Oxytocin is a positive emotion which comes to your brain, like a chemical reaction, right?
It's a hormone.
So hormone. So what is the negative hormone when you feel negative emotion, like scared, hatred, etc.? What is the name?
See, that's other things. That's other things. Like, it's usually systems that get activated,
Right.
and it's usually stress related.
Right.
I don't think our basic, like the elementary concept of emotions, which is like anger is one emotion and love is a different emotion, I don't think that correlates properly with the physical human body. Does that make sense?
No, it does not. So expand further.
Like, something that people could call joy could be dopamine or serotonin. But like, when the physical stuff that happens in your body is not necessarily hatred, love, anger, or whatever it is. Like, love can be more of a mental thing than a physical thing. Hatred can also be more of a mental thing than a physical thing. Of course, when you're angry, your heartbeat increases and you can be stressed, which is like an activation of a specific system. But there's not like, love is a specific hormone, hatred is a specific hormone that gets released in the brain.
Right. So it really depends.
It really depends. But the point was, all these emotions, they point you in a specific direction in life.
Right.
They're kind of like a guide on how you should live your life.
Okay.
Your body is a machine and has specific instructions, and the emotions are like warning signs to describe what is happening to the body.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does a bit more.
And we were created to do certain things with our bodies.
Yes.
So let's say you're being nice to someone, you get oxytocin. That means your body was created to do that. Dopamine. Certain things we do give us dopamine.
Mm-hmm.
That means our body was probably created to do that.
Yeah.
Or serotonin. Like when you're having a really chill, nice day, it's as if your body was created to do that.
Yeah.
But now what's the problem? With sin, our physical bodies got deregulated.
Okay.
So we can no longer fully trust them. Like, you're supposed to feel good after you eat. But with sin, like, we are dysregulated, so we oftentimes eat more than we should.
Yeah.
We take dopamine, which is a good thing, and then like human beings created things that give us too much dopamine at some point,
Which is bad.
which is dysregulated.
Okay.
Mainly in the modern world we live today. So what's my opinion on emotions and the mind? Mind is above emotions, but emotions cannot be ignored because they have a purpose.
Right.
And if you fully ignore your emotions, you're going to be creating circuits in your brain that are going to end up coming back and biting you.
Okay, give me an example if you don't mind.
Okay. So let's say your dad is abusive towards you when you're a child. You create trauma. But then you're a big boy, and trauma is a thing for little kids. That's just emotional. So you just work through it with your mind. But then when you have children, you're going to have unprocessed anger towards your dad.
Right.
You're going to have a hard time having a good relationship with your child.
Right.
Because your relationship with your dad was horrible.
Right.
And subconsciously, you're going to be like, I'm going to mess up just like my dad did.
Right.
So then you're not going to be able to properly be a dad to your child.
There you go.
No matter how hard you try logically.
Makes sense. So if you take a step back, stop what you're doing, realize your emotions when you was a kid, start deep in, raw. I didn't like the way my dad was treating me because of this and this and this. I'll start processing all this information. So when I have my own kid, I don't redirect this emotions which wasn't dealt with, which wasn't processed, to redirect it to my child. I'll deal with it internally.
Exactly.
So how do I process?
And what are you using to treat all that? What's like the taking care of the
there
self?
you go. That's my question.
It's the mind. It's the logical. So
Right,
logic.
a bit more practical, if you don't mind.
So logic has to be at the throne.
Yes.
An analogy I like to use is
logical has to be on the throne, not emotion. Because
Yes.
yes, you have to take care of your emotion, not your emotion take care of you.
exactly.
You've got dominate.
You got to be in control.
Control. Thank you very much.
Dominate is a strong word. I like the analogy. The logic is driving. The kids are in the back seat. The kids are the emotion. Should you just ignore the emotion? The kids. Should you just
Absolutely not.
If a kid is crying, you gotta take care of it. If a kid is starving, you gotta take care of it.
Yeah.
But who's driving?
The logic.
If you let the kid drive, you're gonna crash.
Yeah.
But if you ignore the kids, it's gonna die and your family's broken.
Crazy.
So we need to acknowledge the kids and we need to treat the kids. But logic still needs to be in control. And then you brought a specific point, because when we started the conversation, you said, as a man.
Yes.
What's the difference?
As a man and as a woman.
Yeah, like brain-wise, between a man and a woman.
There's a lot brain-wise.
There's a lot.
I'm not even talking about any functions between
So
man.
you can keep talking. I'll just turn off the lights because I gotta sleep. But you can keep
No,
talking.
bro, but if you're gonna disturb me, then we'll stop talking.
Okay,
No,
give
no,
us
you
2
can
minutes.
keep talking.
2
I'll
minutes.
just sleep.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish in 2 minutes.
No, it's fine. I just gotta turn off the light. It's fine. But you guys can keep talking, even though the lights are turned off.
I don't
No
think that's how it
problem.
works.
You can
Rafa.
sleep. You can sleep listening. to us,
Yeah,
right?
I don't mind about the noise. I mind about the lights. So.
That's how autism works. Is it like that? I'm joking, bro. I love you, innit? No, so what you're trying to tell me is women and men are the same emotionally. I disagree with you.
No, I disagree with that.
No, okay, can I give you my point first?
Yeah.
Or do you wanna tell me
Bring me your point.
What I'm trying to say is women are more emotional
I
rather
disagree.
than men. No, that's if you look at statistics. Okay, today generation, because obviously the Matrix, they want to make the men's mind weaker. However, we look at back in the days, bro. Women, if they go to war, they'll be shitting themselves. Men, obviously some pussies will be shitting themselves, but they would actually go to war and fight, right? Same thing, like for example, women, bro. There is so many examples where women, the emotion takes care of them. They can't take care of their emotions. If that makes sense.
You have good instincts,
Meaning?
but I disagree. I think men and women have the same amount of emotions, but the thing is, men and women process emotions differently.
Okay, that's okay. Thank you very much. So you kind of agreed with what I was trying to say. You just made my point sound better. You clarified
No.
my point. Sorry.
Women process emotion
Differently.
as it happens. Like, as something's happened, the woman will process it. Their brains are way more interconnected, everything's just like one big machine. Men think more in boxes. So man will have an event happen to him, and he can process his emotion later on.
Rafa's brain.
Não, pode falar, tranquilo.
Okay, we'll finish this point and then I'm leaving.
Cara, pode falar, velho. Não se preocupa não.
Tiago é sistemático, não se preocupa.
But do you understand that? So a man can process emotion later on, and he has a tendency of processing his emotion later on.
Right.
Women process it as it happens.
As it happens.
Which is why men usually go to war, also because men are more physically apt for it. But why men are usually put in situations where having an emotional breakdown is not, actually no, I shouldn't say this.
No, you can say
This is why we have a specific attitude towards men.
right.
That like men should not have emotion. Why? Because I believe men should be capable of not crashing because of emotion in the moment.
Right, you should be able to stop a moment, carry on what you're doing, and then deal with it later on. type
Exactly.
thing.
But the problem is, for the longest time, men were only taught to stop emotion and deal with whatever's going on, and they weren't taught to process it later on.
Okay, and that's why it got to the point. Now generations are this generation they're saying, emotion, mental health is fine, whatever. Acknowledge
Yeah.
your emotions. They're doing all of this.
Yeah.
Now, innit?
And then sometimes they bring it to another extreme, saying you just need to be like completely emotional, and that's bad.
Yeah, that's a different extreme.
But that's
What-
also why we
Okay.
had like a generation of fathers that were not in touch with their emotions, mainly those that went to war. And they were abusive towards their children because they were taught like emotion is bad. You need to be a man. And when people have that attitude towards little boys, I think it's really unhealthy for them
Why is that?
because they don't learn how to handle their emotions properly.
So how
They're taught that.
They're taught.
They're either taught that you should cry like a girl. Actually, that sounds bad. They're either taught that you should deal with emotions the same way a girl does,
Yeah,
or they're taught that you shouldn't have emotions at all.
yeah. So
But
what you're
they're
trying to say?
It's not tailored to boys and tailored to girls.
I get you. And what I'm trying to say is that the father, what do they need to do to teach their son or daughter? I want you to be specific. How should a father and mother teach their son how to deal with emotions, and how should a father and mother teach their daughter to deal with their emotions? Should a mom teach it differently than the dad does? And is it different the way they approach it to a male or a female, a son or daughter?
Okay.
How to process their emotions? How should they teach it?
So we're gonna go one by one. First of all, The most important thing I believe a dad and mom have to do in order to teach their children anything is to be whatever they're trying to teach.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be able to teach your child how to regulate their emotions if the dad cannot regulate his own emotions.
Mm-hmm.
But by having a regulated system, the parents will be able to transfer that to the child.
Right.
I don't know if I should get into this, but I know she's rough. I need to sleep, bro.
No, bro. He's good.
You can keep talking.
He will sleep. We talk, and he falls asleep. Trust me.
So much so that when the mom has the baby in the womb, every emotion that the mom has helps shape the baby and the baby's neurological patterns.
So whatever happens in the mum's mind while she's pregnant affects the baby already.
Yeah, because the mind affects the body.
So what you trying to say, what you are and who you show to be really affects the child around them.
Yes, that is why when the mom is pregnant, the dad has to do his best to create a healthy environment around the mom.
Keep her calm, not stressed, and things like that.
Exactly, so that the baby, because if the mom is healthy, the baby's going to be healthy.
Yeah.
And mainly, the baby's brain is going to be healthy.
Yeah.
Like moms that are very stressed, their children have a higher chance while they're pregnant, right? Moms that are stressed while they're pregnant, their children have a higher chance of being schizophrenic
Fair enough.
because of a constant amount of stress while in the womb.
Yeah, carry on.
So the baby comes out of whatever environment that is generated by the father and the mother.
So this is already comes from before they're even born.
Yes.
So this happens, and who are the two factors here? The mum and the dad, because the dad helps the mum become who she is.
Exactly.
Does the sperm come into it as well? For example, if the dad's a very stressful father, and the sperm goes to the ovary, which creates the embryo, does the embryo have like stress genetics, which can affect the baby later on or not?
So you're asking genetically how much the dad's experience transfers on to the child?
Yes. Is it 50-50 or is it more to the mum? Let's talk about emotional things.
Emotional things specifically? I mean, this is epigenetics. Epigenetics is a relatively new science. I am not 100% sure of this, but I know that things like muscle mass. I know that experiences that a person has will affect the genetic code that they bring on to the next person.
Right.
Because as you live life, you change your own genetic code.
Okay.
Like if the dad works out a lot, then it's gonna help. It might transfer on to the kid.
Right.
But I think there's some debate in all this, and it's relatively new science. So I don't know how much emotional state-wise that is transferred.
That's not a problem. Okay,
But
carry on. So
we do see patterns where, like, if a dad is an alcoholic, then the child's an alcoholic, and then the grandchild is an alcoholic. How much of it?
So, like, if the father is an addict, it's most likely for the son to become an addict.
Yes, I'm trying
So
to
it's
remember.
personality traits, yeah?
I think I read an article in my psychology classes that says that even an adopted child will tend to have... Yes, I remember now. Oh, this is a whole different... This is a long talk. But basically, you can have, like, if you have a genetic disposition, like if you come from a long line of musicians, and then you're adopted into a different family, you might be naturally attracted to a musical environment so you can develop those skills, even though the family you come from is not necessarily musical. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So I guess people do agree with that, but I'm not 100% sure. But we do believe in epigenetics, so one person's life choices, life experiences can affect their children's genetics.
Okay. I want to get into this genetic thing, but that's a whole different episode.
Yeah, no, I need to study more on that.
Yeah, no problem, but we can get into that later. But going back onto it, so how should the father and mother teach their children to deal with their emotions in a healthy way, so they don't redirect it negatively so they don't process it onto something else negatively, so they don't affect other people around them negatively, for example.
Yeah, so we were talking about having a healthy environment in the womb.
Right.
And that healthy environment can't just stay in the womb. Once the baby's born, the relationship of the parents is going to be the environment that they're born into. So in order for them to have a good environment, both the dad and the mom have to be, as individuals, healthy and be able to manage their own emotions, and then their bond with one another will be felt by the child in the womb and outside the womb.
Crazy.
I think I want to put a pause on this. Not a pause, but like...
To be continued.
No, like we're going to look at a different thought.
And then we'll go back to it.
And it's going to connect.
Okay.
Because this is the theology podcast after all.
Yeah, you can't.
So...
What's the name of the podcast, by the way?
We're still figuring it out, but I think...
Those are good names that you had. And then...
Was it?
If Tiago showed me, and he said, sorry, B. James, he showed me, and he said, yo, he likes this name. And I'm like, yo, this is hard. It's one of the names I sent you. Well, anyway, that's not...
Yeah, we'll look at it later. I'm trying to remember too.
So, in the end of the day, the theology podcast, so how does it connect with how the parents' relationship affect the child?
Yes, so... Who created human being?
God.
And God is how many people?
Is free.
3 people form one God. God of what?
God with the same...
God of what?
Oh, God of everything.
Of? Like what's like the main thing God is?
God of all God of
What's
all
the
God.
reason he does everything he does?
Because he's a creator. God of creator, no?
Love.
Okay, and why is that?
The God of love is
Yeah.
3 people.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be 3 people?
Because he has to show how he loves each other, or like through 3 people he shows relationships and how they work together, how they have the same how they love each other. Do you get me?
Can love exist alone?
No, they can't. Well, you can in some sort, but you're loving yourself, but it's only very limited.
That's being selfish.
That's being selfish.
True love is about being selfless.
Selfless.
In order for love to exist, you need someone who loves and someone who receives said love.
And that's why the Trinity is a perfect example of love, and their functions, how they become one submissive to the other in certain roles, and how they come in accordance, etc. But that's a whole different topic.
Yeah, it is. We can expand on that, but it does relate to family structures.
Okay, but go on, do what you got to do.
But basically, God is love, and God is 3 people.
Right.
It is one God that formed 3 people.
Yeah.
What can we learn from that? God does not need human beings in order to be love.
Okay.
There's already other people there. He is fulfilled by himself.
Okay.
He did not need us whatsoever. He was happy. And he was so happy loving, like Jesus was so happy loving God the Father and the Holy Spirit.
Mhm.
And the Holy Spirit also happy loving God the Father and Jesus and the Father the same. They're like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
We need to share this with more people. So what sort of environment did we come from?
Can I put you in a pause?
Yeah.
We don't really, because for example, what's that absolute monotheism, where there's people believe in that absolutely one God and one person, right?
Yes, like Muslims.
Muslims, for example, they can't grasp the idea of God's love to the deepest as a Christian does, because the Christians, we believe in the Trinity, where there's 3 people and where they love each other in a crazy way. But Muslims, they don't have that. They have more of a, like, let's say, selfish, like you said. Christianity, we have more of a selfless.
Yeah. Muslims, their perspective of God is he is justice above he is love.
Okay,
So
yeah.
for a Muslim person, if I slap you in the face, it is 100% okay for you to slap me back. Why?
Because
Because
justice.
their God is by themselves on the other side of the creator-creature barrier. And since he's by himself, his nature can't be love. So he's more of a judge over there.
Right, he's more judge over love.
Yes, and a Christian, if I slap you in the face, what does the Bible say?
Love.
Turn the other cheek.
Turn the other cheek. But
Which
then
is
again,
love.
I would say our Christian God is 50% justice and 50% love, let's say.
No, the Christian God is 100% love, and from love derives justice.
Shit, now say that again. He's 100% love, but
And
then from that 100%
From
love
derives justice.
derives justice.
So his justice
So
comes from love.
crazy. Okay, anyways.
So he is just because he loves. But
Mad
that's
thing.
another topic.
And is a perfect just, is a loving just.
Yes.
Judge, whatever you gotta call it. Okay, that's a
Exactly.
whole nother topic. Carry on.
So God is fulfilled with himself. He is happy. He doesn't need us. But he wants to share that love with more people.
Mm-hmm.
And he creates human beings.
Okay.
He creates the whole universe.
Yeah.
But the narrative we follow is the human beings one. So
Yeah.
he creates human beings.
Cool.
Now, how does he create human beings? In his own.
Image.
Now, what does that mean? That can mean a list of things, but for what we're gonna, like the specific topic, we're gonna focus on one of them. Many theologians say that human beings only truly reflect God's character, or truly reflect God's image, when it's man and wife together.
Right.
Why? Because God is more than one.
Mm-hmm.
The same word that is used to describe in Deuteronomy that God is one is used to describe in Genesis that man and woman became one flesh.
One flesh.
So it's like God is one unit, man and woman is one unit.
Right.
And now, when God created us, and the first attribute that God receives in the Bible is creator.
Right.
So that's just who he is by nature.
Mm-hmm.
And he loves creating, and he loves loving.
Right.
And he created us in his image.
Right.
So when men and women get together, what can they do that they can't do by themselves?
Love.
Love. And what happens when they get married?
They become one.
They become one. And what appears?
A child.
A child. They gain the ability of procreation. They gain the ability in a sense of creation.
Same way as God.
Same with God. They gain a divine attribute. So when man and woman get together and love, out of that love should come a child.
Right.
And that is why sex, the beginning of a child, is an act of love.
Right.
So that shows us that sex should not be something to please yourself, but you giving pleasure to someone else.
Right.
A way of you saying, I love you. And
Yeah,
it's
but
such
then
a
it's
powerful sign of love that a child comes out of
But
it.
it's so perverted nowadays that people have sex for their own pleasure, and when a baby comes, they get aborted, or the father leaves the mother, for example.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's another sad thing. But that's a whole different story.
Yeah, that also, like, people's behaviors, when they do something like that, it's because they don't understand, like, they have a different perception of the nature of God and the nature of sex and all those things.
and of love, etc.
They have a completely different worldview.
Yeah.
Once you have the Christian worldview, then you have a specific understanding of what sex is.
Yeah.
And I believe this is the one where everyone's the happiest.
Right.
But basically, out of love comes the child.
Mm-hmm.
And the child is born with his dad and mom.
Right.
And mainly in society today, the mom and dad, in a way, represent God to the child.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the Bible, Jesus refers to God as Father.
Right.
He considers himself our dad.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the closest ideas we get of God,
Mm-hmm.
one of the places we learn the most about who God is, because God is love, is the family unit.
Right.
So if you have a loving environment within the family,
Yeah.
you will be teaching the child who God is.
Right.
And that is why it's so important that between the mom and the dad, they're already fulfilled within themselves. Like they don't need anything.
That role, yeah.
So they can't be having a child because they want something out of the child.
Yeah, they want to have a child to give to the child.
Exactly. Everything that they do to the child needs to be out of love, out of give, out of selflessness.
So that's one aspect of how to teach their son on how
to be emotionally healthy.
Okay.
Because
to give, to love.
To love, exactly.
Okay,
Because I also believe in order to be emotionally healthy, the person needs to have a good psychological structure.
Right.
And the perfect psychological structure, I believe, is a structure that is aligned with who God is and what the Bible is, what the Bible tells us we should be.
Yeah, we need to be like a spitting image of him. We need to be a reflection of his character, because he is perfect. So the moment we look at him and we start contemplating who he is and start applying who he is in our life, we start becoming more and more perfect. Even though we can't get there, but we get better and better, healthier, happier. You get me? Because he's perfect.
Yeah, and he created us to be like him. He
created us
in his image.
In his image, exactly.
So, the best case scenario for a human being is following what his designer designed him to do.
Yeah.
Like you can't take an iPhone and try to break concrete with it because an iPhone wasn't designed to do that.
Okay.
But we try to do the same thing with our bodies.
Example. What do we do to our bodies?
Like when you have sex outside of marriage.
Yeah.
Like you are designed to live in a specific environment. Sex to exist in a specific environment.
Our purpose was different, but we pervert it and use it for something completely else. We were born to love. But we are born to be selfish. Let's say we were born to be selfless, but we are selfish.
Exactly, and that's
So
using
we're
our bodies in the wrong way.
There you go. So we shouldn't show this to our children, because that's one good point. To show your children on how to deal with their emotions, you got to first show them your purpose on what you are here to do.
Exactly.
You're here to love.
Yes.
And the moment you're here to love,
then that's a guide for the emotions.
The guide for the emotions.
For the mind and the emotions too.
There you go.
Which is you're basically saying you need to teach them to have a God above them, a God of love.
Right.
And once you have that above everything, with your whole mind, you try to follow that. And your mind handles your emotions in the rest of your body to go in that direction too.
There you go. And one good point also is, if you don't love, if you don't complete your purpose of being selfless, then you're going to get a lot of problems in your life, which are going to get you emotionally drained, emotionally sick, let's say. So to prevent all of this negative emotions, love. Yeah, which is going to reduce a lot of this, isn't it?
We need to create healthy, loving environments.
Okay.
And that begins, of course, with the individual, but then with the family unit.
Yeah.
Because the family unit is where the child is born into.
Yeah.
Oh, I could go deeper into this, but that would be very long. But basically,
deep as long as you want, yeah. But do you get me? We have to come back out, so remember.
Yeah, that's the thing. We'll talk about this some other day.
Yeah.
But basically, if a child is born in a loving family, then he's going to understand the world that he is in as it being a loving world, and he will be able to be a loving person.
Right.
And we were designed to be that way. So it will make the child healthier.
Yeah.
A child that is born in an aggressive family will be on survival mode. Yeah. And he might understand that he needs to be aggressive in order to survive.
Right.
But the thing is, the body was not designed to work that way. He's not designed to be constantly scared of who's going to hit me, who's going to betray me, who's going to lie to me. And that makes a person in general be less happy, be more stressed and get diseases and stuff like that.
I get you, but if he's programmed, let's say, to think that way, to be, what's that example you use, to not be stressed but to always be on the lookout, you know what I'm trying to say? Our body, we weren't created to be like that.
Exactly.
We were meant to be calm, but he's always on looking over his shoulder. But that became his reality. That became, he being programmed. So now it's normalized to him. That's normal to him.
Yes.
So it's basically affecting him the same way as someone who's not like that. If that makes sense. So a person who's stressed every day is the same person who's someone who's let's say depressed every day, or same person who's joyful every day. They got used to their emotions now. And because they got used to it, became reality, it became normalized to them.
Yeah, it's normal to them, but it doesn't mean it's healthy.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, how does someone who's always happy and someone who's always depressed and someone who's always stressed and someone who's always, all of these things, they normalize it, it's normal to them. They got over it. You get me? They're immune to that emotion because they feel it.
No, they're not immune to it, they still feel it.
They still feel it, but...
Like if you're constantly stressed, it has physiological consequences on your body.
Right.
So
okay, bro.
Like you might end up having cancer.
I disagree with you completely.
Okay.
Completely. That's all on the brain. If you think stress is bad for you, stress is gonna give you cancer, mate. It's gonna make you die earlier. I think stress is a good thing. It's a good blood clot thing.
No, actually, yeah, stress is good. But if you're constantly stressed, then it's bad.
No, I would, if I had the choice to be constantly stressed every day, every hour, I would, because it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me being productive, keeps me growing, and it makes me grow where I look back and I like what I'm doing, because I'm stressed. Stress is what keeps us going, is our gas. Without stress, without this gas, we die out. So yeah, stress is a good thing.
We need to talk about stress, and it's gonna go a bit off topic. Stress.
So do you want to put it on a pause, or do you want to Because to be honest, this podcast is all about emotions. I don't know if you...
Yeah, we can talk about... Yeah, because we're really going all over the place, because we're talking about psychological,
yeah, but fuck it, bro.
Theological, and why not stress? So stress is a system.
But we know how to... We know how to put on pause and go back to wherever we went. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, carry on. So stress is a what?
Is a state of body that gets activated.
Okay.
What does it look like? It sends blood flow to your main organs, like things that are essential to survive, and it takes it away from non-essential things.
Right.
So it allows you to be more productive.
Yeah.
So like you're working out, you get stressed. Like you're in a cold shower, you get stressed. And it's good, like if you're working out, you get stressed because then blood gets sent to your muscles.
Right.
It gets sent to your heart. And like it helps you, like you oxygenate your lungs more.
Yeah.
But then what happens? Blood is taken away from your stomach.
Right.
So digestion doesn't work that well.
Okay.
You feel me?
I get
So
you.
if you're constantly in a state of stress, it's gonna end up being unhealthy. But if you have zero stress, you're also gonna be not productive at all.
Right.
So we need to follow the rules of our own human body.
You need to have a balance. You're trying to say.
Temperance. Temperance is the key word. So you need moments where you're stressed, and you need moments where you're just having recreation time, where you're calm and your body can take care of other physiological things.
Okay, I understand that, and I'm in agree.
But
Calm.
we were talking about like someone who's in a psychological state of always on the lookout, always afraid.
Right. Or someone who's stressed. I would like to use that example. So someone who's always stressed every single day,
All the time.
all the time.
Yeah, that's unhealthy because it doesn't give the body time to restore itself.
Right.
Because it's only focused on
But
surviving.
does it not become normalized to them? It can be unhealthy, okay,
No,
physically, whatever.
it's normalized to them, but then eventually they die. So
No, but then there was a study, right, where they put two types of people in the room. Someone and there's highly stressed people, right? Not two groups of people where they're very highly stressed. One group believed stress was bad to them,
Yeah.
and the other group believed that stress was good for them. And you know the results. The results were appalling. They all died or were sick earlier for the people who thought stress was bad, and for the people who thought stress was good, they lived longer and healthier and happier.
here, I think I do agree that the mind has an immense
It does have an immense impact, yeah.
ability into changing how things affect us.
And it seems
Like-
the same story with the guy in the room, yeah. He's saying, "Oh, the air conditioning is bad for me. I'm gonna catch like a cold or something." And then he catches a cold. It's in his mind, bro.
I do believe that the mind has a way greater power than one might think,
Okay,
but the mind also has its limits.
yeah, it has a
Like if you get stabbed in the heart, even no matter how hard you tell yourself that's good for you, you're gonna die.
No, but it can help some sort. Some people, when they get stabbed, they're like, "Raw,
No.
I'm dying." They die. But some people who say, "No, I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die." They actually stay alive.
It can help.
Yeah,
So we gotta understand both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Like one way, if you're being stressed all the time and you have a positive outlook on it, like this is helping me be productive, of course it's gonna be much healthier. Does that make
Yeah, it
sense?
does. It does play a big role, but it doesn't. It's not 100%.
It's not 100%,
You gotta be temperate.
but it is way more than the average person thinks.
Yeah. So going back to that point regarding our love and our purpose. Our purpose is to be selfless, and as a parent, we need to show what we were created to do.
Yes.
So showing that ever since in their life, because it affects genetics, like we talked about.
Yeah.
It affects when the woman is pregnant, when they're in the belly, and when they're born as a baby. The child needs to see the parents. Go on.
Yes. And this is the next step. It's what the next thing I was talking about.
Yeah.
So how to teach a child to regulate his own emotions.
Yes.
So a child is not, I'm gonna say incapable, but he's basically incapable of regulating his own emotions.
Because he hasn't learned to do it, right?
He had, you have no idea how deep what you just said was. So who regulates?
Repeat it.
He hasn't learned how to do it. So who regulates the emotions? When a child cries, who comes and takes care of the child?
The parents.
The parents.
Just from that, for example, the child is crying because they broke their toy, and mom says, "No, don't worry, we just buy another one. Found the solution."
So what is the mom doing?
The mom is showing how to deal with it. Basically, calm down, because we have a solution for this.
Yes. So when a
process
baby's crying, the job of the mom or the dad, or we say the primary caregiver, is to connect with the child. Like their physiological states synchronize. The mom's like looking in the eye, speaking. Like the mom tries to synchronize with the child, as much as possible. And it's usually the mom, partly because the child was in the mom's womb, so their systems were already synchronized in the womb, and now they're trying to synchronize again. And then the mom takes those child's emotions and teaches them how to calm down. So he soothes them in whatever way possible. So like skin to skin contact. Like they just try to connect as much as possible. So I say one of the main things, and we could talk a lot about this, like I had a full class on this basically, in order to teach a child how to regulate his emotions and just be healthy in general, is a good quality relationship between main caregiver and child. The better the quality of that relationship, the more the mom is able to connect with the child and regulate his emotions, the more the child is going to be able to regulate his emotions when he grows up.
That's crazy.
A mom that has good emotional control over herself will hold the baby, look at her in the eye, talk nice to it, and help him calm down and stop crying.
So that's
why it's important that every time a baby cries, you go out there and you calm him down.
Yeah.
And you teach him it's okay. You soothe him.
Right. That's my perspective. That's more of the mom's job. However, what about the father?
The father is just as capable of doing that as the mom.
Does he not have a different approach to it? So if the child is crying, for example, the way I thought of it, mom, calm down, this and this, gives us the feminine side of how to deal with emotion. And then the dad will say, stop crying, boy. It's not that deep. It's not serious. You'll move like a pussy. Yeah.
Okay, see, I wouldn't do that.
So you're telling me the mum and the father should approach the same way in teaching their child on how to deal with emotion. You shouldn't bring any masculine aspects or feminine aspects to things. Do you not think they have different roles?
Okay, you grew up. There is different biological systems. Like I heard that in a study, moms are more sensible to a specific type of cry from the child, and dads are more sensible to another type of cry from the child. So when both parents are sleeping and the child is crying because he has some sort of emotional discomfort, the mom's gonna wake up more easily.
Right.
But if the child is like afraid because something is around, and then he's gonna cry differently, and then that specific sound would wake up the dad.
Right.
So like biologically, the dad is tuned to hear that cry, and the mom is tuned to hear a different cry. When the child grows older, the mom will connect more and have oxytocin with the child through hugging and kissing and saying it's okay and stuff like that. But the dad will get oxytocin by playing with his children. So they're built biologically for different things and connect to the child in a different way. But when it comes to what I'm talking about right now, which is the soothing, both mom and dad are equally capable of it.
Right.
It's all about having a good emotional control of oneself, like you being able to calm yourself down, and then you teaching the child how to calm himself down.
Right.
But now, what's the thing? As the child grows up, like at first he's a baby, the mom basically does everything for the child.
Right.
The child doesn't have that much ability to think for himself. But if he's like 2 years old and you're doing everything for him as a baby, he's not learning how to do it by himself.
Right.
So the job of the mom is to every time give less and less according to what the child is capable of doing by himself, so that he depends on the mom less and less.
So, for example, so what I'm understanding, which is I would like to repeat, is the parents or the mom, let's say in this case, would have to show the child, look in their eyes to synchronize, like you said, and show them, listen, here's the problem, here's the solution, don't cry, deal with it, and I will help you, I'll hold your hands.
No, so a baby, the mom basically does everything.
Yeah, she does
It's
everything.
like
But
she's synchronizing and
there you
calms
go.
him down.
But then over years, she will do less and less. She will, let's say, more talking, less action, and then as it goes on,
the child becomes more dependent.
More dependent, and then it reaches the point where the mom doesn't need to say anything. He's accountable for all the actions.
Exactly. Like a 2-year-old, the mom might still hold the baby and like it's gonna be okay, and then give him his toy back and let him back out.
Right.
But then when that child is 5-year-old, the baby comes crying, and then mom like a kiss will fix the boo-boo, and then she kisses him, and then now he's fine. He needs less and less every time.
Right.
But if the 5-year-old comes and the mom does the same thing as he did to the baby, then that child will never learn how to become more and more independent.
Right.
The mom is keeping that child trapped to him.
Right.
And that is unhealthy. But now you go to the other extreme, which is the baby's crying. And this is something that was told to parents in the past, is he just wants attention, let him cry.
Yes. Man, that's facts, you know. But I till this day believe that's true.
That is horrible for the child. Because the child is
Because
not...
can I pause you there?
Yeah.
As a father, if I was a father today, yeah, and my child was crying, I would ignore him. I would let him cry, bro, but not cry in front of me because you're annoying. Go into the room, I'll look in the room, cry all you want.
8-month-old baby.
Okay, obviously you got no control, but I'm saying like a toddler.
Okay, a 2-year-old. We just talked about this. A 2-year-old does not have...
Yeah, don't piss me off. 2-year-olds, if you're crying, yeah, obviously I'm not going to hit the baby, obviously, but man's just not going to feed it. I'm not going to give it attention because he wants attention from crying.
Look, babies... We'll start with babies and then we'll move on to 2-year-olds. A baby does not have the ability to think, I just want attention from my dad, let me cry.
Yeah, no, of course not.
If
I agree
he's
with
crying,
you.
there's some sort of emotional need.
Which is?
It might be anything. It might be he's hungry, he might be anything. Or he might just need attention. But if he's crying because he needs attention, that's because he genuinely needs it.
So you're telling me that's his way of communicating, that's the only thing he knows how to communicate. Because
Exactly.
it's just natural to them. When I cry, something comes to me. Something just comes.
And he's not smart enough to try to trick the parents into like, oh, I just need attention. I just want to cry because I want to wake up my parents, you know?
Oh, I want to cry because I'm hungry. He doesn't know that. Oh, I want to cry because I just pissed. He cries because it's just natural.
Yeah, just like it's...
But does he know, does the baby know, something's going to come to me, like my parents is going to come
He
and
learns
give me food.
eventually.
Oh, he will learn after repetition so many times, Each time I cry, my parents come, so I'm going to cry because I want them to help me clean my diapers or give me food.
Or just attention. But is it bad for a child to want attention? No. Because that's a literal emotional need. Like they...
No, but I would disagree with you there.
A baby. Let's say baby.
Okay, baby, sorry.
Yeah, I would keep on saying child. I'm supposed to be saying baby.
No, because, the child is... if you want attention, for me attention is a different topic. I don't agree people should have attention.
A baby
okay, but that's the difference.
They did a test with babies, which is they just gave them, this was a horrible test, they gave them just everything they technically needed to survive, like food, water, shelter, heat, but no human contact, no emotional connection. And this is the test done in the past.
Right.
All the babies died.
How old?
I don't know, but they didn't go past like a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old. Like the babies that just got food and no contact with the mom or like any sort of love, they died.
Right.
Because love is a physiological need for human beings.
Crazy.
So what happens when a baby cries and you just ignore it? He doesn't learn how to regulate his emotions.
Right.
So there's still intense chaos inside of that baby. He might stop crying because he discovers that crying is useless. But he never learns how to regulate his emotions. Does that make sense?
Okay, I would like you to expand a bit more. He can stop crying, but just because you stop crying, what's going inside of you? How do you react to emotions?
Yeah, that's the thing he doesn't know. He's just going crazy at that point.
Okay.
I'll give you
So
an
what you're
example.
trying to say is, one way you're learning how to control your emotions is crying,
No, the mom goes there.
and then mom goes there to help you stop crying. So
it needs the mom-child interaction.
So there you go. So he learned, to control my emotions of not crying. My mom helps me.
No. He learns how to control his emotion when the mom connects. So the defining factor is the bond between the mom and child.
Okay, that's the beginning.
The child is crying just to notify, I need help. And then the mom comes in and helps the child regulate his emotion. If it doesn't have that mom regulating the emotion, he's never going to learn how to do it.
But what does the child understand from his mom helping him regulate emotion?
Yeah, we can talk about that. That's one of the things that it's about. Okay. But when a child cries and someone comes to reassure him, he starts to understand, I am in a world that I am loved, and if I need help, someone will come and help me.
Okay.
If a child cries and no one answers, he's going to be learning, no one is here for me. I need to figure things out on my own.
He has the capacity to know this as a little baby, as a little child.
It's more of a subconscious thing. Because like, it's all about habits, right?
It gets you
patterns.
programmed in your brain.
Exactly. It gets you programmed to act that way. So, those children...
But we can agree that no one in this earth is here to help. They don't care about your emotions. No one cares.
See, we'll go... You know what? Let's go there. We can go back to the whole... We've been going back to the emotion topic. But let's go there. What happens if a child is just ignored. A child that is taken care of says, you are loved, you're in a safe environment. A child that is not taken care of, as soon as he starts crying, what will he try doing? He'll try crying louder and louder and louder until he just stops crying because he realizes no one's there for him. So those children, what are they going to become when they grow up? The child that learned that he's in a loving environment, when he's like a 2-year-old, he's going to have an easier time speaking because he's going to learn that he doesn't need to cry to receive attention. He can just notify his parents some other way. So like, I need help. And then the parents are going to show him, like the parents are going to hear him saying like help or something like food, and then the parents give it to him. And then the child learns, I am loved. Growing up a little older, when that child is 5-year-old and he's playing with another baby, he's going to want the other baby's toy. He's going to ask for that toy. Now let's compare it to a child who hasn't been loved like that. He'll cry, and the only way he has to communicate is crying. So what does he learn? I need to force people to help me. Like my parents won't come to me on their own. Like I need to work for it. I need to cry louder. I need to do something.
Right.
So that child may have a harder time learning how to speak simply because people are not paying attention to him.
Right.
When that child becomes a 5-year-old, instead of asking for a toy, he might start crying, or like he might steal the toy because he understands that if I want the toy, I need to grab it for myself.
Because there's no one helping me here.
Exactly. When both of these people are adults and they get into a car crash, the person that was taken care of when he was a baby and he cried, he's going to get out of his car and he'll calmly, in control of his emotions, be like, okay, let me get your contact, let us call the cops, whatever, because he understands that he's in a safe environment and that he doesn't need to fight for everything.
Right.
But the other guy, he fights for everything because in his mind no one cares about him.
Right.
So he'll get out of his car, he'll start yelling and he'll start fighting for it.
So what I'm understanding is a healthy approach to know and to recognize that people love you and actually care about your emotions, rather than no one cares, you're here alone.
Yeah, so basically the child adapts to whatever environment he's in. If he's in a loving environment, he will learn how to live in a loving environment.
Okay.
If he's in a not loving environment, he will learn how to live in a not loving environment.
So then basically he designs his own way of seeing the world and it becomes his reality.
Based on the environment that his parents generate for him.
So, okay, so it all goes back there, fair enough.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
So
if your parents are loving since you're born, you're going to be in a loving world.
you're going to be able to be in loving relationships and loving environments.
Okay, which in the end of the day makes your world a loving place.
Exactly. But if
More,
the parents are not loving,
then you don't know how to receive love, you don't know how to give love, and then your world is literally going to be an evil world type thing.
and you're going to generate that world too, because one day you're going to have your own children, and your interactions in human beings in general, that's the worldview that you have.
Okay, but
does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. But we in agreement where no one cares as much, doesn't care about you as much as you care about yourself.
Generally, in a sinful world, people don't care.
People, even to the point of our parents, were okay. No, maybe parents now.
But
Maybe parents now, they would die for their child.
as Christians, what sort of environment are we trying to create?
Loving.
And the more loving the environment, the more close it is to heaven.
Right.
The more close it is to your original plan.
Right.
We're supposed to be preparing ourselves for heaven. We're supposed to be raising children for heaven.
Right.
When you come into a loving family, a healthy, safe environment,
Yeah.
you notice that there's something different about that family. You feel better.
Yeah.
That's what you were created to do. And that's who God is.
Now, I understand that, and like your steps to Christ or your steps to heaven, let's say, all starts from birth.
Yeah,
In
and
your home.
it has like exponential consequences to it.
Mhm.
So how the child gets treated from 0 to 5 will be like, it will have impact for his rest of his life. And like, if a child is loved from 0 to 5, he might be loving for the rest of his life.
Right.
But if a child is not from 0 to 5, then he'll be a pain in the world for the rest of his life too.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
So it just keeps on exponentially getting worse.
But is it not dangerous though, realistically, to be in such a loving environment? You're going to be spoiled, let's say, because do you not need a bit of that growing up where no one loves me. I have to chase things myself. Because you need the balance, right? You can't have too much love, because then people are going to be like, oh, world is a nice place. I'm good. Everyone loves me. I love everyone. Obviously, I'm being extreme here, but do you not feel like you need a bit of that element where
I believe
you have to be
that
a bit selfish, love yourself, like no one cares about me?
You're not going to physiologically train the child to think no one cares about him, because that is extremely unhealthy.
Okay.
Actually, I think we need to go on another concept and then we come back to this one.
Yeah.
Based on the
Very close now.
Yeah, sorry. Based on how the child, 55 minutes well. Based on how the child was treated by his parents, and this is in the Christian context, of course, will affect how he perceives God.
Right.
So the child, that from birth, every time he cried, there was someone to help him. When he starts relating to his heavenly Father, when his physical parents took care of him, when he tries to picture his heavenly Father, and he needs help, it's going to be way easier for him to trust that God is actually going to take care of him.
Right.
Than it will be for the child who grew up when he cried, no one helped. He's going to feel like when he's praying and when he's asking for God's help, God doesn't actually care about him.
Right.
Because his whole life, that's how his parents treated him. That's his worldview. The people that love him the most did not love him properly. So he's going to assume that God treats him the same way.
But that's more of a subconscious thing.
It is a very subconscious thing.
Very subconscious, which does subconscious affect your conscious?
Yes.
Okay, because I was going to say, that's subconscious, which is irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't
What
matter.
really matters is for you to stop, learn from life experience, and start rationalizing, okay, no one cares about me. Maybe my parents do. Okay, maybe, but God does. Because God is love. God is different than these humans. So that's a conscious approach. But does the subconscious of how I was raised and everything which happens to my life affect how I perceive God?
It does. It is.
Even though it's incorrect, even though even though there's the conscious and subconscious. Subconscious is my life experience. Conscious is the Bible, the revelation of, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. But you're still going to have a hard time believing it in your heart and living it out
I
on your day-to-day life.
With my heart, right?
Yeah, and living it out in the day-to-day.
The subconscious like holds you back, kind of. It keeps you like in chains. It doesn't let you advance in life.
It's not necessarily that. We could talk. This would be a whole different.
Subconscious and conscious, I like.
It's a longer conversation.
Let's put that on a pause then, because
Yeah.
it was going. Let's carry on about emotions.
But basically, you need by being a good father from birth, a good mother from birth, you're preparing the child to have a good relationship with his heavenly Father.
Right.
Later on. And I feel like that's the most important thing, because if the child knows that God loves him, then everything in life is going to be easier. And he's going to be true.
Including how to process your emotion, because God's going to give the Holy Spirit to help you redirect your emotions, your negative emotions to the right places and stuff.
Yeah. Now, does that mean you said that people need to be aware that the world is not exactly as loving as a loving parent might make it seem?
Yeah.
I do believe the child needs to be warned about the world. But then that's where it becomes on a conscious level. On a conscious level, you need to understand that you can't trust everybody. But if that's on a subconscious level, then you're not going to be able to trust anybody.
Right.
Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
One is like you're trapped to it, and the other one is like, okay,
Be
no,
aware.
I am aware that this is not the loving environment who is God and who is earth, which is why I got to show them that loving environment.
Right.
And that's a way of evangelism.
Okay, so subconsciously, literally, how the parents raise their child really affects on how they can, their relationships later on in life, isn't it?
Relationships behave who they are.
Who they are, their personality.
It doesn't their personality doesn't come out of nothing. Everything comes out of something.
Mm-hmm.
And the environment they're in is the main thing that feeds the identity of a person.
Right.
The environment they're in from 0 to 12, 0 to 5, like those critical points.
Right. So you came to me, right? My question was, how do parents teach their children on how to process or deal with their emotions? You brought with me, it starts already genetically, very small factor, but a good factor is when the baby's in the belly of the mum, Or you get me, if she's stressed, the son most likely will become stressed or schizophrenic or whatever. You get me? But then when they come out of the belly, you start loving the baby, them things there. Parents have to love each other so the child can witness. And they see how they deal with their emotion. That's one way, right? Through love as a baby.
Yeah, so
Is there any other?
the womb,
Yeah.
be generating a loving environment for the child to be in. So if the mom feels love, the child will feel love in the womb too.
Right.
And then once the baby's out of the womb, the parents need to have a loving environment. And this is when it's in the womb too. They need to have a loving environment within each other.
Right.
Because that's going to be the structure that they're born into.
There you go.
They're going to look at how the parents treat each other. They're going to assume the world works that way.
There you go.
And then once they're out of the womb, and even this starts within the womb, for regulation of emotion mainly, the mom or the father, someone needs, the primary caregiver needs to have a good relationship with the child, need to have a good connection.
Right.
And that is on an emotional and physiological level.
Right.
So the mom needs to be able to connect. So the more interactions between mother and child, and the mom teaching the child how to regulate his emotions, or like regulating the child's emotions for him, the more the child will be able to regulate his emotions later on.
Right.
But the more loving the environment, the more the child will have the ability to live in a loving world.
Right.
So whatever the environment it is that is there for the baby and the child from 0 to 5, 0 to 12 is what the child is going to become the rest of his life. It's what he's being trained to be the rest of his life.
Right.
So if you're loving at the beginning, the child will be able to be loving later on.
So okay, I get you.
And if you're not loving in the beginning, all the child is going to know is aggressivity, anger, and all those sort of things. And he's not going to be able to behave in a loving environment.
Yes.
And now, from a Christian perspective, our goal is heaven. On earth, we are preparing ourselves for heaven. If you want to go to heaven, you want to start living that on earth.
Exactly.
So the closer we are to heaven on earth, the better it is. And when we have children, we decide what sort of world we give birth to them. We don't have full power, but we can decide what sort of environment we show them to.
Right.
And if you are a believer in Jesus, and if you want to go to heaven, you're going to try to bring heaven to that child.
Right.
And you're going to try within your house to get as close to heaven as possible. And I believe that is also one of the most powerful ways of evangelism.
Right.
Because whenever someone steps in a house where people are genuinely loving and caring to each other, and the Holy Spirit is there, they'll realize that there's something different about the house.
Right.
They'll realize that the people there are not like everyone else that they know.
Right.
Also because you can only really generate that loving environment if God is present,
Right.
if the Holy Spirit is working in every individual within the family.
Right.
And they're going to compare to their own family, and they're going to realize these people have something I don't.
Right.
And then when they say I'm a Christian, they're going to realize, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
God is real. There's going to be living evidence for that.
Right.
And the more those individuals interact with the family, the more they're going to understand what heaven is like.
Right.
Because within that Christian family, there is a micro heaven.
Right. There
You get
go.
a little taste of it.
Yeah.
Which is why in the early church, when someone would convert to Christianity, they would usually spend a few months living at one of the more experienced Christians' houses.
Right.
So you convert, you'll spend a month, 2 months, 3 months living with a Christian, seeing how they interact with each other.
Yeah.
You'll be taught the Bible and taught all those sort of things, but you can have human to human interaction, and you're going to learn more about God, you're going to learn more about heaven, and you're going to learn more about sin by being there.
So the best way to learn is through people, and you need to learn from people who reflect God and His character, which reflect heaven, which is love, such etc. etc. That's the best way to learn. But my question, right, is how does love teach on how you process and deal with emotions? Why is love one of the best approaches to deal and process emotions in general?
Yeah, because it's not that love helps us process emotions. It's more that it gives us a direction.
Okay.
It's what we were created to do.
Or like it goes back to the point where it reduces the risk of feeling any other negative or bad things.
Yeah, you were designed to love. So the healthiest thing
It's to love.
is to love.
You were born to do,
Yeah, that's what we were born to do. If you go outside of what you were designed to do, then that's unhealthy for you.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Makes complete sense.
So our emotions are just kind of instinct put in us. It's part of the software, and the software was made to run in a specific way.
Right.
So you put it to run in the right way, then everything's gonna work properly.
Right.
But you try doing something that it's not meant to do, then things are gonna hit each other, and it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
And emotions are small, or like part. I won't say small, but emotions are part of that software.
Okay. It's part of the software.
And we see that, we just talked about it. How does a child learn how to regulate his emotions? With the bond between child and mother. Why? Because that generates a loving environment between the child and mom.
Right.
God is a relational God. He is three people. He is not only one person. And he wants to reflect that in our daily lives. That is why he created us in a way that from birth we depend on someone else.
Right.
And we are born like completely helpless. We fully need people. But that's when those people get the chance to love us. And we understand that we are in a loving world.
Right.
So God created Adam and Eve in a loving environment.
Right.
And he wanted them to continue in the loving environment.
Right.
That's what we were made to do. Adam and Eve chose to leave the loving environment.
Right.
But if they had children in Eden, which is a perfect place, then they would have been given the chance to keep on giving the loving environment to future generations.
Yes.
Now that we are in a sinful world, we have a choice. We can either try to go back and live as close as possible to as it was in the Garden of Eden, and prepare ourselves to go back to the new Eden, which will be the new earth, which will be heaven.
Yeah, or go away.
Or we can choose to just keep on living life as people in the world do right now.
Yeah.
A life of sin, a life of selfishness, a life of hate.
So yeah,
It's a choice every father and mother have to do.
Is an important role. So what I'm understanding, a very key factor for you to learn on how to deal with your emotions is love is a guide which teaches you to have relationship with other people, and relationship with people help you deal with your emotions, because you learn from other people, from other people's life experiences, from other people's ideas for you on how to control emotions. Am I correct?
Yeah, so love is basically the instruction guide
Yeah.
for the hardware we were given.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, love is a completely different. We can just talk about love itself, and that's 3 episodes, if anything.
Yeah, but we just today,
Emotions.
I want to say that we looked at how emotions are part of the hardware, and that hardware was made to love. And then we looked at some of the details of what love looks like, and how our emotions were made for us to love. Like when you see a child being loved by their mom, that is loved. When I see a child bonding with his mom, his mom is loving the child.
Right.
That's what we were created to do. That's what we need to do in order to be healthy human beings.
I would just like to take, because I want to finish now, right? I want to take this back real quick from where we started, just to close it. What we started, I told you, your emotions is not important. You told me pause. Yes, okay. Your actions, your control of mind control, it's more important. It needs to go over the emotion part, right?
Yeah.
Can you articulate better if you can later, yeah? But so emotion cannot dominate you. You have to dominate your emotions. You have to control it, and a way to dominate your emotions, control it,
Regulate them,
by regulating them, by processing them in the right direction. And my question for you was, obviously, how do women and men process emotion differently? Yes. Men take longer to process their emotion, like they would postpone it. A woman would process emotion during a moment. My question was, what do parents do to teach their children on how to control emotions? You told me when they were like a child, ever since they're growing, but when they're more like, let's say 18 plus, over 20 years old, more like they're more conscious about life, they know what's morally right and wrong. They are already formed as a person. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
They already have their own worldviews. They got their own ideas. They're very stuck to their beliefs.
Who they are, yeah.
They're already structured, right? They're created. How can the parents now teach their child to deal with their emotions? Because there are a lot. Let's say I'm going to use depression. I don't want you to get into depression today, please don't. But let's say there's a depressed child who's 25 years old. How can a parent teach that 25-year-old on how to process his emotions, how to deal with it?
Okay, I think we need a whole other episode for that.
Okay, on other on how the
Yeah,
parents can
like
teach them to deal with emotions.
yeah, it will be part 2 of this episode, because
yeah.
part 1 was the baby and the child, and then part 2 would be the teenager and the adult.
Fair enough.
But
Perfect.
let me finish off with one last thing.
Yeah, you can summarize, do what you gotta do, and then we end it. I won't ask any more questions.
We started off with the whole. In the beginning, we talked about how family is a reflection of God. Men and women together, they reflect God's image.
Mm-hmm.
The best reflection, like the best way we have to express who God is, I believe, is in the family unit. And that applies even to today.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think you already said this, but the best way to evangelize, the best way to represent God, is to have a healthy and loving family.
Right.
So when the family cares for each other and loves for each other, people get to know who God truly is.
Right.
And that also applies to our churches. So the more of a loving environment you have in your church, the more when people go in, they're going to learn about who God really is.
Right.
I think that's it.
My thing. I mean, love is a whole different thing. I want to talk about what is love, different types of love, how to love. People see love differently today, how it's been manipulated, how it's been perverted, I'm trying to say corrupted, etc. But that's a whole different one. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, guys. So today was loving your family is one of the most important things we have to do.
Don't know.
Making sure we're raising our child properly. We looked a bit of psychology, we looked at a bit of neuroscience, and we looked at a bit of theology and how they all interlapped. And the conclusion of it all is basically love your child, love God with everything you have, and love your child as much as close as possible to how God loves you. And in doing so, you'll be spreading the gospel, you'll be spreading light, and you'll be spreading who God is throughout the world.
Don't know. Obviously, the people, we're gonna have a. Wait, hold on, give me a second. Obviously, we're gonna have a part 2 for the business, you get me? We will whisper in the whole podcast and that, car. My man in the room and that, my roommate was sleeping. You believe that? So we're creating content for you lot while my man's sleeping. So we're dedicated, you get me? So don't play fucking games. Sorry for the swearing. But we're serious, we're on some serious business right now. Yeah? Drop any questions you lot have. Add a little like. And if you don't subscribe to the thing, then you're not supporting the thing, which means you're disrespecting the thing. You get what I'm trying to say? Anyways, people, love to all the man,